feeling good about our team and where we are. We're learning who we are, as a team. As we continue to grow and work together, we're learning who we are, our strengths, weaknesses, what we do well, right? Things we need to lean into more, right? Opportunities we need to give more guys some opportunities. Guys earn their right. So we'll continue to work through that and see where we are. But I like where our team is, headed into the bye, 500. We've done some things really well, but proud of the way the guys played yesterday, proud of the win, but there's also still a lot of things that we can clean up, a lot of things that we can improve on. But I'm encouraged with where we are as a team. In the second half, offensively, we didn't execute, right? And that was the difference. First half, we executed on third downs. We kept drives alive. Come out in the second half, it just wasn't good enough offensively from an execution standpoint all the way across the board. So that's where, it takes time to learn how to win. You have to play complete games. As I was telling our guys today, right, you can't be one way in the first half and different in the second half. And now I thought, as a team, what I'm most proud of collectively is the defense wasn't great in the first half, but they picked it up and finished in the second half and picked up the offense. The offense gave us enough in the first half to win, and it takes that complementary effort, and that's what I feel our team is about, like complementary football. We have to continue to play that way.
Last two offensive possessions for the Saints, you all stopped the turnover on downs, and you got the interception. There was a lot of emotion out of you, on the sideline, you see it from the top. Was that just you showing the emotion, not only because of the plays, but because it seemed like the defense was finally getting together, like that communication aspect that you've been looking for, they finally put it all together?
Yeah, the emotion for me is just I'm excited to see our guys make plays. As offense, defense, whoever makes a play, I'm excited to see our guys make plays. And I know it's a lot that goes into it, a lot of fine details that a lot of people just outside of ball you don't really realize, right? All of the work that it goes into, making those plays, and for guys to execute efficiently in that moment in critical situations, like, man, it's somewhere where a place where we've struggled, in the past, and to see guys stand up and make plays. And it wasn't all clean, it wasn't all perfect, but at the end of the day, playmakers have to step up and make plays, and that's what you saw happen at the end of that game.
What does the bye week allow you to do from a self-scouting standpoint that maybe a regular game week wouldn't let you kind of look at yourself and your team?
The bye week gives us just a chance to decompress, right? See, where we've been, who we are, any tendencies that may popped up for us, and how I've been calling it. Just take a look internally and see, schematically, are we being efficient, or is it working, and how I envision it. Is there some things we need to tweak schematically? So it's just a chance to take a breather, decompress, and really look internally to see where we can be better.
Coach, a lot of people look between the lines of what you said about the run game last week. You're very complimentary of the offensive line. You thought that the run game was close. Some people thought maybe that was some motivation for DP. Singletary, not as much action last week. Yesterday, 12 carries for him, caught another ball in the backfield. What did you see from what the Saints presented that maybe gave gave Singletary more of an opportunity than DP?
Yeah, our run game was better, especially in the first half. I think we ran for like 97 yards in the first half. And I think it's just that complimentary back and forth between DP and Motor, right? Both guys had really good runs. The way DP finished a couple runs, it had some elite finishes, exactly how he wanted. Motor had some nice runs as well. So we'll continue to give Motor more carries. We'll continue to, just balance those two guys out. I think both guys are really good backs. Both guys can help us in the run game the way our offensive line blocks it.
What do you think been the biggest issues of short yardage runs? You guys got that down in the red zone, the goal line with DP, got a couple negative runs earlier in the game. What do you think kind of been the issue with that throughout the year?
I think it starts with the communication, like everybody being on the same page. When you see those negative runs, it's just communication. Also targeting, like are we targeting? Is everybody on the same page? I think when something happens and we're going backwards in the run game, it all starts with, first, are we all on the same page? And I think that's where we can be better. Just all being on the same page, and when we're on the same page, as you see sometimes in the 3rd-and-1 situations, I tell guys we want a yard, let's go take a yard. And it's about mentality, having your pad level under their pad level, and moving people off the line of scrimmage. So it starts with that mentality, but also everybody being on the same page with whatever play call is called.
Other side of the football, with the defensive line getting a lot of pressure, but not getting a lot of sacks, is there something that you can pinpoint towards just the sacks will come if you keep getting the pressure?
No, we have to execute better. And when it comes to the defensive line, we have to execute better. Talk about 4 guys rushing as one. We have to just continue to rush together and make sure our plan is we're executing our plan. We're doing exactly the things we practice. We're doing that on game day. So it's just about guys just doing the little things and being on it, rushing together and not feeling like they're out there by themselves and nobody pressing to try to make a play. Right? Everybody just do what they're supposed to do, play together, and the sacks will come.
You talked about what your can you talk about what type of impact that Shaq made to the secondary when you compare it to last week's game when you guys took the field without him?
Shaq did a good job, made some nice plays for us this past week. Stepped up, made some big tackles for us, especially on the 4th down play with him and Cash. Huge stop in the game. We needed it most. So Shaq, physical corner, does a good job in press, getting his hands on wide receivers, and he's done a really good job of stepping in for us.
You talked about what you were going to be doing during the bye week, but do you have a message for the players or what they should be working on?
I really want our players during the bye week to just get away. Physically, just get away from it. Mentally, just get away from ball for a little bit. I think it's coming at the right time. We've had a lot of ups and downs over the past 6 weeks, but it's a good time for our players just to get away and come back refreshed and ready because, we have a long haul ahead of us. So I just want our guys to be fresh and ready to go for that.
Are you a fan of the early bye, or would you prefer it to be a little bit later?
Whenever it comes out, it doesn't matter to me. You make it happen. We've had them early, had them later. Really, is no perfect time, I would say, but it's coming at the right time for us this year.
The drive where the drive where you guys were scoring on Robert Woods' touchdown. It started out with Neil Collins on a kind of deep pass there, and then with 7 runs in a row there. Was there kind of a message that you maybe want to send to your offensive line, him on the rock? Was it what kind of went to that process before ultimately you guys scored that touchdown?
We're trying to score. That's it, man. It felt like we can run the ball, we can move it. So, we were running the ball well. So that was the thought process. It's never, let's send a message to our guy like, we're going to call what we think is going to score. And every play that we call, we want to score on that play. So that's the thought process behind that.
DeMeco, that was obviously first year subjective matrix started off. Now you're at this 3rd mile post. What are you going back looking at you individually as to what you perceived at the start to where you are now?
For me, it's all about putting our guys in the best position to make plays. And that's what it is. And I always start with me, whether win, loss, it all starts with me. Are we operating efficiently? As coaching staff, are we putting our players in the best position to make plays so they can, go out and be the playmakers that they are? Are we cutting them loose to put them in those positions? So that's what I'll, look at throughout the bye.
Coach, take a few more. Coach, you talked about what the message you told the players about, being able to get away physically and mentally. You are a big family man, huge family man. Do you have a daddy do list, a husband list, or just you until you're able to?
I'll probably be in the car line a little bit longer, probably more this week, doing drop-offs and pickups. But it's fun. One thing I say is as a father, you cherish those just rides, those 30-minute rides in the car to school and away from school, just hearing about our kid, hearing about our babies, just their days and how they're doing. So really try to take advantage of that.
DeMeco, with the buy, is the thinking that Tank and some of these other guys will be back to full strength, and for IR guys in particular, Juice Scruggs, do you feel like he's getting closer?
And we'll see where Juice is when we come back from the bye. He's had a good week last week, so we'll see, if he continues to progress in the right direction. And Tank should be back and ready to go after the bye as well.
Coach, you guys have lost some tough games, won some tough games yesterday. What do you think you've learned and observed about your team
Yeah, it's part of being a successful team is you can't get too high and too low, right? And I think we've responded well after losses, right? And everybody has come out with the right mindset. But, how do you handle yourself after a win? I think we can get better in that regard of still preparing the same way. It shouldn't change. Whether you win or lose, your preparation shouldn't change. Your mentality going into a game, it should never change. It should always be the same. You have to be consistent throughout your process. I think we can get better there of learning, what it feels like to have success and how you respond after that success.
Two questions. One, Denzel was racetracks. Was that more of him dealing with what he was dealing with on the injury report?
Yeah, Denzel is a fighter. He wants to go out there, but with him, with the club cast on and having Christian back at this time, I didn't think it would be beneficial to Denzel to put him out there with one hand.
And also, what do you feel like y'all have grown the most from week one to where you are right now?
Yeah, I think we've grown the most in learning what it takes, right, to win. And that's the biggest thing you have to figure out as a young team. Like, what does it take to win consistently throughout the league? What does that preparation look like throughout the week? And I think our guys they're starting to see what it takes when you have a great week and what is that result on Sunday. And when the week doesn't go so hot, like how does it look on Sunday? So our guys are they're learning that. They're learning, all right, individually what their process has to look like throughout the week, how they're prepping, how they're studying, how they're taking care of their bodies. Like you start to get into a routine, especially with a ton of young players. Right, they have to learn how can they sustain throughout such a long season, and they're learning that.
We got a 3-3 right now. One game back in the AFC South. So you guys are in the thick of it. So how do you challenge, not convince you, but how do you get them to all buy in on just focusing on week to week and not get caught up in the potential race that you guys could be in later down in the season?
Yeah, I always look back, always go to, right, you control what you can control, right? And as of right now, like seeding doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter if you're focused on it. Now you'll slip and you're not preparing the right way, right? You have to prepare every week. Like it's a playoff game. That's the game. You have to win this game, and that's the mindset. Like everything you have for 1 week at a time, and that mentality doesn't change for me just because of what a standing is or what. It doesn't matter. Like the standings will take care of themselves if you handle business each week the proper way. Then the standings will be in your favor at the end of the season, but you don't need to get caught up in it. You don't need to, as Coach Saban says, buy into the rat poison that's out there. You just continue to, grind throughout the process.
Hey, Coach,
Yep.
I know you was asked a similar question on Westgate, but after viewing the film, how great was it to see the production come from Blake Cashman, and what has it been like just watching his growth at the situation?
With Blake, I'd say what I see in Blake is the more he's gotten, the more opportunities that he's gotten, he continues to show up and make plays. And Blake is a guy who's, as most of you guys been throughout training camp, Blake was a guy who was making an interception a day or causing a fumble. He was always productive on the ball, and it showed right in training camp. So it's kind of no surprise he gets in the game and he has PBUs, big-time plays, continues to show up. And Blake has done a great job with what he's been given, right? The opportunities that he's been given, he's showing up, and he's made big-time plays for us, and he's earned the right to get more time.
Take the last one.
Coach, lastly for me, obviously in this league you got to respect week to week who the opponent is, the circumstance of what's going on, and everything you put into it. But now that we're at the bye, when you reflect back on your thought process coming into these first 6 games, how is the team pacing from a record standpoint and a performance standpoint based on what you thought coming into the season?
My thoughts is just 1 week at a time, so I don't look at it in totality like that, like, 6 weeks, where will we be? Like, we are where we deserve to be, right? We've won some tough games, as has been said. We've lost some close ones that we probably, looking back, man, we should have won those, but it doesn't matter. We are exactly where we should be at this time. We're 3-3. That's who we are, right? And for us to continue to progress and do well throughout the stretch, right, we just have to consistently look at, right, those things that we've done well, right, and continue to hone in on those things and be consistent when we step out there on Sunday. All right? Thank you, guys. All right. Appreciate it.